comes to a point where the people we fight so much for, the county governments, to be able to get money, end up collecting on-source revenue. But when they collect on-source revenue, they don't convert that money into services, leading to boycotts by traders because of lack of basic services like sanitation, water, security in their markets. Mr. Speaker, it really begs the question, why are we here then? Why are we fighting for these traders? Why are we fighting for these county governments to make money, to get money? Every so often, when we have business in the order paper that revolves around division of revenue, all of us are here. And we are diligent in making sure that we fight for our counties to get money. Mr. Speaker, I don't know when we are going to teach these governors to run counties as if they are businesses. They need to get business 101. When you talk about business, you have to look for profit. And the only way you can make profit is by ensuring that you've got the following factors. One, you've got your environment of business being perfect. Number two, you've got the after sales, services. Now, in this case, you expect traders to be able to collect money to pay you taxes. But you don't give a hoot about their toilets. You don't give a hoot about their security. Where are we going? Sometimes I wonder whether we just do things for the sake of doing them to appear as if we are doing. One of my biggest pet peeves, Mr. Speaker, has got to do with constructions of markets by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, yet with this program funded by the national government, but the markets are not being utilized and they are not being completed. A couple of days ago, I raised a serious concern with the powers that be, including also the Ministry of Housing, that in Narok County, we spend 1.3 billion shillings from the national government. Two markets were built, one in a place called Suswa. I'm sure you know Suswa. The next one was in Tulele. We went there with the president and launched those markets. But until today, those markets have not been operational. When I sit here and I listen to the problems of Luanga, and I listen to the problems of Vihiga and what do you call this county that my friend comes from? Bungoma. I say, we have different problems. The problems that I have now for Narok County is that the markets were completed, the markets are good, it's only small things, stalls being put in, people being allocated for the traders to live in good conditions. It is like we are cursed, Mr. Speaker. We like to operate in very shoddy environments. On Tuesday and Saturday, if you take the road to Narok, you'll be shocked. On Wednesday, if you take the road to Narok, you'll be shocked. In Suswa, people, it's like it's littered with a bunch of people, traders on the road, yet there's a beautiful market, which is just a white elephant project there. It's embarrassing. I'm livid. I want to see things change. You call, you make noise, you raise concerns, but sometimes you're just like, what are we doing? You see a toilet being constructed, and it goes 2 financial years. The county needs to lift, it needs to pull up its socks when it comes to the issue of completing projects. The national government also must do the same. Because why do we spend 1.3 billion shillings to put up 2 beautiful markets? And then there's a wrangle between a few people on who is going to be the trader there. Then why did we build them in the first place? So, Mr. Speaker, these are the kind of things that we need to investigate. I appreciate the work done by this committee, but does it stop here? Does it become a motion where we sit down? When I came here to this Senate, I was told that Parliament pronounces itself through motions and bills. So this motion, we must pronounce ourselves. We must follow through. You know, I really would have loved to see us having an implementation committee. So that implementation committee, when we move a motion like this one, trying to make life easy for our citizens, that committee will run with it. But now, because we are left with the committee self-implementing, I want to beseech the Committee on International Intergovernmental, what you call devolution and intergovernmental relations, to take the resolution of this Senate and run with it. Please come to Narok. Go to the Ministry of Housing. Ask P.S. Hinga what is happening. Why are we not completing these two markets in Narok? Move from there, go to Bomet. See the conditions. Whatever resolution we come up with, go to Vihiga and Busia. Sit down. Let us consult. The moment we consult is the moment we can be able to move forward. If the problem is selecting traders, let those ones who are there first, when it comes to the issue of Narok, let them go in first and then the rest can follow suit. This is a matter that determines legacies. This is a matter that tells us whether this government is working or not. I want to drum up support for things that are concluded, but I don't want to do things halfway. So when I heard that this committee was investigating this issue because of the statements by my two colleagues, I wish I had also raised my statement, but I chose to call the ministry and say, please, leave that ministry, go to that place and make sure those markets are working. Finish those toilets. Because if you don't do that, today, traders in Luanga have boycotted. They have said we will not pay taxes. Tomorrow, it will be traders in Kirinyaga saying we will not pay taxes. Even if in Wasingishu, they bought a beautiful AC plant to be able to fix their roads. And I think the first person who bought that one was the chairperson of health. You know, I don't know whether it was him, but I just saw a new one coming up the other day. You know, we want to see those kind of services where we are fixing our roads. Why do we have to still behave as if we are living in the 19th century? Mr. Speaker, today we had a session with the ambassador of South Korea. And one of the things that he said, which really struck so deep, is that South Korea is such a small country. You can take South Korea and fit it into Kenya 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have the same population as we have here, around 56 million people. But guess what? They are doing so much better than we are. In fact, he was telling us with the speaker that your country is so good that if you guys just have a few foreign direct investors here, you can bypass us because we don't have external threats. In South Korea, North Korea is threatening them on the border. The other side, China. The other side, Japan. And they're still struggling. Everybody now here, in fact, I think if I look around, you'll see every senator here having a phone from South Korea. You know, because they care about their surrounding. You know, they care about their environment. We need to start caring about our towns. We need to start working. Every so often, Mr. Speaker, we talk about not having jobs. You know, lack of jobs. These markets we are talking about, if you give these youth who are here, give them some little money. You know, like now I'll go back to that, I think it was called the Hustler Fund. You buy a crusher, you buy cabro making machines, you give these youth, you tell them go to Luanda, fix that market, and then you give others metal, tell them, these are welding machines, make stalls. You will not have Gen Zs on the street saying we are jobless because everybody is going to be busy working. I want us to start thinking like entrepreneurs. I want when you sit here, the younger generation will want to emulate you. They'd want to say, when I grow up, I want to be like Senator Cherargei, because he's not only being a legislator, but he is becoming a farmer. You know, one of the facts that maybe a lot of people don't know about Senator Cherargei, you know, that maybe you need to know, is that this young man was once a milk hoarder, you know, trader. He used to work, actually a hawker. He used to move from one home to another selling milk. And look at him now. He's a senator of Nandi. Now, if we don't fix our markets today, is it the next generation who are going to be jobless? Are they the ones who are going to find money to come and fix those markets? Senator Otsotsi, a good friend from Busia, not Busia, but not Vihiga. This Wakoli is from where? From Bungoma. Just said something which I want to repeat here. That when these governors come to these oversight committees, can we please take them to task? I want to plead with you, Senator from Vihiga. Stop entertaining those governors here. Let's go to our counties. So when we are carrying out the oversight, we can actually walk around, we can go to those markets and shame them. Every day we keep on fighting about how much should go to counties, but we are just literally ticking a box. So I appreciate the sentiments of Senator Wakoli by saying we need to take these governors to task. When we read these reports, I think was it the day before yesterday that the majority leader laid before the Senate all the Auditor General reports of all our counties. Take them. Go down, go up there. Now, with this committee, you need to start thinking outside the box. Okay? Do things completely unorthodox. Don't follow the script. Go and say, okay, how much money was given to you to do these markets? You know, what have you done with them? Let us now start thinking on how we can scrutinize the budgets. Project-based budgets. There are softwares now. You can go and say, okay, this is your budget, yeah? Let's pull this budget out. Who are the suppliers? Let's follow the suppliers, every one of them. Did you supply these things? Yes, if they did supply, they paid taxes. We can follow through. You follow the money trail. And by doing so, we will bring change to this country. But today, we will not bring change because so long as there's a budget, even before that budget has been implemented, some other people go and sit down and say, we need a supplementary. So, you negate the importance of your annual development plan, your county integrated development plan. So you just come up from nowhere and start saying, let us do this. We'll do that. We need a supplementary budget. I would rather you say, we budgeted for this. We did not have the funds to be able to develop this market. But in the next financial year, we will follow through. What we did not finish, we complete. I would rather you sit down, you carry out public participation, and engage the citizens on the importance of planning. By so doing, we will change our country. I want to beseech my brothers and sisters from both sides of the aisle that it is about time that we start looking at how we change our economy. Every so often we talked about bills here. Yesterday we were talking about, economy versus health. Earlier today we were talking about issues of Thange. And I'm so happy that the Cabinet Secretary of Health has decided that he's not going to play any politics anymore, that enough is enough. He's going to make sure that under Section 118 of the Public Health Act, he issues an order. He makes sure that Kenya Pipeline Corporation fixes the problems. The last time Section 118 of the Public Health Act was implemented was during COVID. If you read the law properly, you will see that that section of the law defines what is a public nuisance. And health, markets being dilapidated, being dirty with no toilets, that's a nuisance. So we just need to be holistic in our approach to solving problems, and we will see this country going further. But Mr. Speaker, if we don't do that, these young people who are watching us here deliberate on issues, on the problems that we have as a country, we will come back here. They will be here. And if you read the Hansard, in 10 years' time, when I'm no longer in this Senate, and a young man who is watching me here is sitting here, he'll be saying the same thing that Senator Ledama Ole was saying. So let us have a way of not just ticking boxes, but actually making sure that we follow through. And I do hope that Senator of Vihiga and Senator of Bungoma, you will not just raise a statement and you end here. Let us go and implement. Let us all go there, join those traders, because there's really no sense in you charging traders taxes and you don't even bring them simple things as water. Mr. Speaker, I support.